keep it going, swinging. So, anyways, I'm doing my morning walk routine as far as that goes. As you can tell, I'm like right next to the main road. You know, and the fact is, today is kind of Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, in a way, I was kind of not really that entirely into like Super Bowl as far as that goes. You know me, and it's like I'm more on all of them, so I'm not really that much into kind of sports and stuff like that in general, you know. But I think as far as that goes, I would just really be into the whole thing just for the commercials and stuff like that, you know. But although I did watch like the Super Bowl game a couple times, maybe back about 10 or 15 years ago, I should say. But that was just simply was with some of my friends, you know. It was like I kind of mentioned him a couple times, like Todd, but also like Trevor as far as that goes. But I think the first time we had that kind of party was back in 2000, and that was when the Rams were in St. Louis at that time, and now they're back home, you know, as far as that goes. And things have like changed as far as like 16 years ago, you know, as far as that goes. You know, with here, it's like I'm able to do this now with my phone and all of that. You know, made me kind of wonder. The last time I was here doing a video blog was probably about 5 years ago, and calculated other things, and this was like right around the time when I was dealing with that breakup with Drew, I think. But in a way, it was difficult for me to get over him, because it was the first time that a guy had like lied to me and all this sort of stuff, you know. And then my head and my heart were at odds, because my heart wouldn't let go of him, but my head had, as far as that goes. And so it was like my head and my heart were battling out that entire time, and as far as 2011, you know, dealing with like that sort of thing, you know. So, anyways, as far as with like the Super Bowl party and all that, you know, that was pretty fun, you know. When it was the first time I think it was gone there was like around in 2000. It was just me, Todd, and it was like Fred and Chris and Vanessa and Trevor and all that, and some of their parents and all that, you know. And I don't know, I hadn't really talked to Trevor in about like 10 years, and I had a bit of a falling out with him after I kind of came out. I think he was just had a hard time dealing with the fact that I was like living a lie and all of that. And I think it was part of it might have been maybe he was being told certain things, you know, about gay people and all that kind of stuff, and probably assumed certain things, you know, like that. Or some other little things that happened, you know. But then I pretty much decided there, you know, just basically I should forget about him. Which was hard for me to do, because a lot of times I just don't really want to give up on people, you know. And then there was a couple of other people that I felt like I didn't want to give up on, you know, to tell the truth. So, anyways, as far as with that, I really still don't know what happened to him as far as that goes. But although he still has the same number, it's just that he never really answered his phone. But it's mainly like nowadays nobody really has the old landlines anymore. It's like if I would have known like his mobile phone or the same way with Todd's, I would have talked to them at least as far as that goes. But in a way, I kind of felt like as far as trying to contact Todd, it was like I was like being like Bernaz, but it was this girl that one of my brothers had gone to the prom with, and every now and then she would try to call just to catch up on one of my brothers, even though my brother had moved on and all that sort of stuff, doing his own thing, and doesn't really need to be bothered by her and all that. So in a way, I think that's just really what happened so far, because I kept doing that. But then, I think if I just simply forget about them and then let time pass and all that sort of stuff, then try again.
The way his.
So that's just another one of those people there. But anyways, as I was kind of saying so far now, it's been pretty much a long time since I've been doing this kind of stuff like that, But I think the last time I had done a Super Bowl party was back in 2003, but this was like before I came out and before all this crazy stuff that happened that year, So, although I wish I could explain a little bit more specifically as far as all the stuff there, but it's just I feel like I can't really do that, because it's just a way bit too personal for me and all that, and I just, and the fact is also the rest of some of my family members just don't really want me to talk about that kind of stuff, at least not yet. At least not yet. So, in time, I'll probably explain the whole story and all that, because part of it is mainly one of the reasons why it took me so long to come out and all that. But then, on the other hand, it's like it would have been difficult for me to come out anyways, regardless of what scenario was in play here. But mainly, as I kind of stated many times as far as being an Aspie and all that, but it's hard for people who are Aspies and also have a disability at the same time, because I shouldn't say that. I'm getting all mixed up. What I meant to say is that it's hard to be an Aspie and being gay, because especially there are some people that are that ignorant, And I think what mainly, as of now, it's like that it is just somewhat like ignorance is just what is in the way of that sort of stuff, because some people just automatically assume that part of me being an Aspie is just there, and that I choose to be gay or something like that. When do you make a conscious choice to be straight as far as that goes? That's always been one of the things I always say to people that just don't really quite understand that sort of stuff. And then these same people there would say, as far as me being asked and all that, that's just some sort of quote-unquote fake disease, when it's been like recognized by people, by the medical community for the past 20 years pretty much. But it just doesn't seem like that long ago and all that. But one of the whole things I probably should have mentioned there, that during that time, prior to being out and all that, this was like right around like after I was diagnosed with Asperger's. Although I don't really want to like name anybody and all that, so I'm just gonna keep that doctor's name unknown as far as that goes, because I'm sure that he probably has Google and all that sort of stuff there, you know, and get upset. Yeah. But I just think this doctor was just a pill pusher and all that, you know, and that he was just wholly interested in just having me popped up a pill and all that kind of stuff, and that's it, you know. But the thing is with the pill popping and all this sort of stuff there, it was like, you know, it was one of those things I had to deal with. Anyway, I'm getting my train of thought all mixed up here. After I was like diagnosed with it, it was under his advisement that I should take like the whole Zoloft, or was it, if it was Paxil first, then it was Zoloft, you know, because it was supposedly to quote unquote help me with me being happy and all that sort of stuff. And to this day, it was like I was just still mad at Mom for that, because she fell for that doctor's sweet talk, because of like that with that drug and all this sort of stuff, the quote-unquote real me will come out, you know, when, I don't know, the truth is, it feels like, to me, it's like, I really just didn't need the Paxil or Zoloft, nor did I wanted that sort of thing, and the thing was, that was mainly what the reason why I was angry at my mom, for that matter, was because she wouldn't listen to me as far as that goes. It's like, oh, this sort of thing will help you, and all this sort of stuff, and blah, 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 you know, and she just didn't want to hear it, you know. But although I've finally gotten, well, off of that sort of thing there, you know, because when I blew up at the doctor and all this sort of stuff, and threatened to kill myself, or threatened to kill, if it was I threatened to kill myself, or was I threatened to kill them, or something like that, or I should have said them instead of myself, you know, as far as that goes. And then because of like being on the back, so Zoloft or something like that. But unbeknownst to Mom, and unbeknownst to that pill pusher, part of it was an act. I shouldn't say my mom and the pill pusher, also my brother as well. You know, that part of it was an act, but part of it was the Paxil and Zoloft that was making me all crazy and act all really weird and all that sort of thing, unhinged at some point there. And in fact, later on, I think I was like switching it back, you know, saying like, you know, placating to that doctor a little bit. And I was kind of placating to him. I mean, I was placating to him there, because that guy was supposedly wanting to help me and all of that sort of stuff. And then what really, if he just really wanted to help me, is just not even bother with the Paxil Zoloft, because I didn't really need it or want it. That's the truth. It's just really, that's what I really should have said as far as that goes, you know. Plus, also, I just wanted to beat him at his own game and all that sort of stuff. And so I just simply acted like I did want to have like some of the treatment and all that, but I just didn't want it to take so long, you know, for the results, in fact, for it's all off and all that sort of stuff. And so he had me on this other drug that works a little bit faster, but after a while, I think I just kind of gotten, I just complained about the side effects, where it was just giving me a fast heartbeat, and it was making my muscles stiff, and all this sort of stuff, you know, and that I probably had to take like another drug to alleviate those sort of symptoms, or, you know, which also has other symptoms and all that sort of stuff, and, you know, and I complained about it. So then Mom was like, you know what, if you're going to complain about all that sort of stuff every time, then maybe it's better that we shouldn't have you on this sort of drug and all that sort of stuff, you know. So in a way, it's like I said earlier before, you know, if Mom and Dad and that doctor had listened to me earlier, as far as that goes, that I didn't want the Paxil or Zoloft, you know, and if they just simply listened to me, it's not really that hard for them to listen to me. All they just have to do is shut up, and that's it. And then hear me out and all this sort of stuff, you know. Then I wouldn't have to go around and do all these little crazy things just to get them off my back about Paxil and Zoloft, you know. But the truth is, it's just that, I mean, that was really the real truth of all of it, is that I just didn't really want that sort of thing, nor did I really need it. And that sometimes I think Mom and Dad should have just learned better, as far as I go, to listen to me and all that sort of stuff. But this was just back when I was like 19, you know, and now here I am, 34. I don't feel like I'm 34. I mean, I don't feel like I'm that age now. I mean, I don't feel like I'm going to be like 35 in about another couple more months, you know, 4 more months, and I'll be like 35, you know. It doesn't seem like I'm 35, you know, but then another couple more years, I'm going to be 40, but that was another thing as far as that goes. But it feels kind of weird as far as how much things have kind of changed as far as the past 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. But it's one of those little things I had to like mention about it. So here it is. I'm at like a big intersection for a crosswalk and all that. So as far as crossing the street and all that, I'm going to be quiet about it, because I need to pay attention to. So here we go. So anyways, I'm almost finished with the crossing the street, you know. Have maybe about a couple more feet left, and I'm there. So here you are now. It's now 7 o'clock, I think. Yeah, it's about almost like 7:30. You know. So this is like where I had my other video over here. So this is where I had my other video over here, you know. And in a way, this video, I wouldn't necessarily say it was like, but I think what I was talking about was a lot of the things that were going on that year. And again, it was like me dealing with the breakup with Drew and all that, but and a lot of other stuff there. But it just seems kind of weird that was like 5 years ago. Doesn't seem like it was like 5 years ago was when the whole breakup with Drew began. Because I think I was suspecting something with him around this point, and then it was probably around March when I broke up with him. You know, but then I was kind of playing him up a little bit because maybe I wanted to get back together, or maybe I didn't, or whatnot there. Then it kind of biting him a little bit, you know, for a while, and then I decided to forget about him, you know. But I think as of now, it's like I hadn't really talked to him maybe in 2 years, you know, but or said anything to him in 2 years, but most likely he probably deleted my message or something like that, or blocked my number as far as that goes. If that's true, you know. But that's pretty good as far as for lying to me and all of that, you know. I mean, not only lying to me, but it was also kind of like he kind of cheated on me a little bit. Or what if I was the one being cheated on, or what if it was somebody, or it was somebody else who was cheated on with me usually. Yeah. But either case, I kind of dumped him in there. And then I think the entire time at this point was just me dealing with the dumper's remorse. I think that was like the case with like this time around was just me dealing with the dumper's remorse as far as 2 years ago, but you know, the last time I said anything to Ricky was probably about about 4 months ago, I think, in November, because it was like that whole Adele song, Hello, which made me think of him and all, but and I think I just simply apologized for all of that there, but you know, it was like one of those little things, you know, like the resolution to it, you know, when you're like making amends to your past and all this sort of stuff, and then now, quote unquote, moving on, that sort of thing. Not that it was ever going to really be that impossible for me to move on, but moving on was kind of like necessary, you know, because you can't really just hold on to the past as far as that goes, no matter how hard it seems. You know, I mean, no matter how much I want to hold on, it's impossible to do that. And believe me, I should know about all that. Anyway, if I had learned to like let go of the past a lot easier with everything, then I wouldn't have to. Then it would be a little bit more easier for me to deal with those kinds of issues and stuff like that. But believe me, I wouldn't necessarily say it was like a bad thing about it, you know, because sometimes it's good to look back at all that kind of stuff, but other times it's like you can't always just simply wish for go back to everything. But anyway, as far as like with Ricky, you know, the reason why I kept talking about him a whole lot on my blogs is basically if anybody hasn't really been catching up to that sort of stuff, or reading like my earlier ones and all that Ricky was kind of like my first actual boyfriend, I suppose, you know, even though I didn't really spend a whole lot of time with him, but it was mainly because of me not being able to drive and all that sort of stuff, and me kind of not having a whole lot of experience with everything, you know. And anyway, I had pretty much had reconciled the fact that I was going to be like a late bloomer and all of this sort of stuff because of really being like a late bloomer is a bit of a problem. But the thing is, being one was just one of those little problems. And I think whether if it was just has to do with me, or whether it just has to do with mom and dad, or some of the teachers at that time, you know? But to me, I kind of think it's just that everybody's at fault for it. And rather than just simply solely put the blame on me or put the blame on mom and dad or whatever, that everybody has that equal share of blame to go around. And I think that's just how I seem to think about like the whole relationship with Ricky at this point now. That I'm just equally to blame as much as he is. You know, because he's been, I wouldn't necessarily say lying, but it was just simply that he was saying things that he was busy and all this sort of stuff, and then it was, in reality, I think he was busy. Oh my god. That was like 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Well, anyway, I'm probably gonna stop as far as that goes because it's been a really long vlog as far as that goes. But anyways, guess that's probably until next time.